Hey guys, welcome back to another segment of Chai with Charity. I have had so much fun today doing a full day of recording. I actually recorded a video of my sister doing my makeup just for this video. So if you'd like to see how my sister does my makeup for Chai with Charity, be sure to stop over and look at that video that she created for this. Anyway, so today I have some fun resources. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. If you love to read, which I love to read, I am a huge reader and I just love it. So if you're a reader, then you will think these resources are exciting because I have a whole stack of books, like so many books that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So as you guys know, my husband and I went through a really rough time in our marriage a couple years ago. He had had an affair, and the way it all came down, it wasn't like he didn't pick me at first. Like, it was just really ugly and it just kind of got messy. And so, but through all that, I really thought that we could survive. Like, I just really felt like our marriage could make it. Well, I had a friend who told me about a lady that her whole entire everything that she does is based on fighting against divorce. So these two books that I read during all that time are really good. So she is not a Christian. I think she might even be Jewish. But everything that she writes about is very practical, very down to earth. I mean, it's nothing spiritual and like scripture-y about it. It's just down and dirty, just how to fight for your marriage on a practical level. One of the things, so like this one right here is The Divorce Remedy. Her name is Michele Weiner-Davis. The proven 7-step program for saving your marriage. So I give a lot of, what is it called, for saving my marriage. Like, this has really been a huge resource for me in saving my marriage. So this is a step-by-step approach to making your marriage loving again. So this is divorce busting, marriage saving techniques that get results within a month, focus on solutions, not problems, can be used alone or with your spouse. So this first book, The Divorce Remedy, is going to be a lot more for the crisis mode because it has the 7 steps, the program, and it is very practical. It's just like, do this today. So she really gives you a lot of practical techniques. And one thing I really love about her approach to marriage is putting a lot of the responsibility on yourself, not the other person. This is not about fixing the other person, meeting the other person's needs. A lot of it is just take care of yourself. Be a grown-up, be kind. You be the person that you want to be. And one of the things that she does say about saving your marriage is it only takes one to save a marriage. So really great resources if you are in a crisis mode in your marriage and it really needs some paying attention to be saved. And another book that I have was a gift from Matt. So this has been a book that I've only had for the past year. So he gave it to me for our 10th anniversary. We didn't have much money, but we got a hotel at a suite, one of the nicest suites in St. Louis. It was a big year. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough money to do something extravagant. Like, I'd dreamed as a fairy tale, reuniting in the 10th year. But we did get a hotel. It was very sweet. And he thought ahead of time. And in the hotel was, so the story was we were, I'm just so in love with this new person I'm finding. I was so excited, and I had found out about Brené Brown and walked in the bookstore, and there was her book. Like, it's just funny how like you find something that you've never heard of, and then all of a sudden it's like everywhere you go. So I was super excited, and I remember this finding her book in the bookstore. At that time, we didn't have any money, and so he's like, no, you can get it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to spend the money, that whole thing. And so for our anniversary, he had remembered that this is the book that I wanted, and he had it in the hotel room at our 10th anniversary. I started to cry because my emotions are now so free and open that I mean, a book, really. It's that really sweet and romantic, but it really did. It really touched me and meant a lot. So this is Brené Brown. Once again, she is not a Christian author, but just amazing work that she studied. So her life study is on the study of shame. You know, not a pretty subject to study, but just profound and really just changes the root of so many of our insecurities, our failings, just everything that keeps people from really living the life that they deserve to live. She's addressed in the whole thought of shame. So her book is called The Gifts of Imperfection. Let go of who you think you're supposed to be and embrace who you are. Your guide to a wholehearted life. So just this, a lot of this kind of goes back to my whole starting Good Enough Mom, you know, being an imperfect mom, being an imperfect person. She just really talks about all those things that we feel that we're not good enough for whatever reason in every aspect of our lives. This was a really great book. Not a real easy read, so it's not one that you just, you know, read one night in bed. It's just kind of one that you just read in nuggets. Actually, most of these books are books that you read in just chunks and nuggets, and you kind of read them over time. So this is another really great book of just helping overcome that fear of imperfection. So great book. And she has other books too that are really good, but that one was the first one I got and really one of my favorites. Okay, so these last two books I had to share because it's kind of a funny story, and it was actually kind of a sweet story. So I wanted to share these with you for you guys. So in the beginning of our rebuilding our marriage, you know, at first I was the one that was fighting. I wanted to do this. But then the day that, so in my mind, it's like, how long do you fight for your marriage? Do you fight for like 100 years, or do you fight for 100 days? Like, what's the times, and when do you say, okay, I'm done fighting? And so in my mind had been the day we filed for divorce. Now, I wasn't going to do it, so it was going to be him that had to file for it. So the day we filed for divorce, he filed for the divorce, and I was served, that would be the day I gave up fighting. That was it. Like, that was kind of my thing. And so it took him quite a while to finally get to that point where he did actually file for divorce. So that was the day I quit. 3 days later, after I was served, he came knocking on the door saying, if you get papers, deny them. It's over. I made a mistake. I should not have ever filed. So it was not a long period before he regretted that, and everything changed in his heart. And so, but at that point, he met a different person because I'd made that decision, and so it kind of closed the door. And from there, I was like, well, I'm done fighting. And he said, I know, and I should have been fighting too, so you don't have to fight, I will. So right after that, he really did start fighting. He really did start showing up and making an effort to change, making an effort to prove all the things that we know that person has to prove. And so it was really sweet. It wasn't at the time. I was very hurt and offended, but now looking back, it was actually a very kind and thoughtful gesture. So he ordered 2 books from Amazon, and when they came, I was put off a little bit. So one was for me and one was for him. I'll show you the books, the size. I'll show you which one was for him. Can you see it? I don't know, can you tell? So this one was for him and this one was for me. Okay? Now, the title of my book was My Husband's Affair Became the Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me. An inspiring true story, Bercht. So she writes her story, and let me tell you, it's a big one. She shares her story of her husband's affair, and a lot of the same journey that we went through, she went through. But Matt got this, of course, I wanted to stab him in his eye, because how could he ever buy me a book that said my husband's affair became the best thing that ever happened to me? No, I don't think so. Now, looking back, I say yes. Amen. I need to write my own version of this book. But anyway, at the time, I did not think it was funny. I did not think it was nice. I was pretty ticked off that he would even suggest a thing. But he didn't. He was really trying to help, because the book he got for himself to read was How to Help Your Spouse Heal from Your Affair, a compact manual for the unfaithful. MacDonald is who wrote it. So it was very sweet that he was making an effort to really help me through this process, because he knew he was done and he was coming back, but I was showing signs of not being okay with it. So he has little dog-eared pages that he read and found practical ways to help me. So I just wanted to share those because I thought it was very sweet, but not sweet. At the time, I didn't think it was, but these were really great books. So if you are have gone through the same journey of having a spouse go through an affair, these are great resources as well that you could have. So those are all my self-help, marriage help books that I really enjoy and feel like they've been a great resource for me. I hope they've given you something to add to your reading list for 2015 and start making those changes that you really desire to see in yourself. Or if you know someone that maybe is going through the same sort of thing and could use some of these resources, be sure to share this video with them. Tell them all about it, because more than anything, we just want to be healthy ourselves and happy for ourselves, and a lot of that means changing ourselves to be better and healthier. So I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next time.